Hello!
Hey! Welcome back. It's been a month.
It's been a
while. It's been a whole
I'm
month.
not dead.
Yeah, we're not dead. Welcome
not
back
dead.
to Legends of Avantris. Thanks for being so patient. July has been a crazy month for the whole gang.
Yeah.
So hopefully we should be back to our regularly scheduled programming. For a couple weeks.
Yeah.
For a couple weeks. We appreciate your patience and you guys being so fantastic. This is Legends of Avantris. We are some nerds embarrassing ourselves for your entertainment. We've been playing 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons in this campaign for over 2.5 years at this point.
And we're only level 9.
We're only level 9. Yeah, it's going to be a long one, ladies and gentlemen. If the sound is off sync, let me know. If you can't hear us, please
if we're
let me
really
know.
quiet,
If
let
we're
us
really
know.
quiet, let us know. Welcome. Trying this new setup. Let's just go around and just introduce our party really quick. We have Richie playing Rodic Stonehearth, a dwarf fighter. We have Nikki playing Sylvie Flickerwicket, a gnome warlock. We have Kelsey playing Annulin Mossgrove, a wood elf ranger. And then we have Andy playing Avantris True Strike, who is a high elf rogue. And we, what do we got with some housekeeping stuff? This is a mature stream. We do mostly rules written, but some rules as fun. A lot of home brewing, incorporate some 4th edition and the like in my campaigns. And so if there's anything wrong, let us know with the page number in the book, and maybe we'll stop fucking it up. Probably not. Also, I'm Mikey. I'm the Ironing Board DM. I roll dice and write fan fiction.
On an ironing board.
On an ironing board. I literally do this on an ironing board. It's not false advertising. I've also forgotten how to DM, so enjoy that. What else? We were doing a giveaway.
Yes.
A giveaway mid-stream in chat for everyone who's active. Why don't you guys talk about that?
Maybe.
Yeah. So right now we are at 392 followers. We're 8 followers away on Twitch from our live giveaway. If we reach 400 followers tonight, we are doing a giveaway where you get to choose one of 4 things.
4 prizes.
A custom dice bag.
We're synced, Derek says.
Thank you, Derek.
Goodness.
So I make custom dice bags. This is the Gryffindor one I made for myself, but if you win, you can choose the patch you want on yours, the fabric you want, blah, 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 blah. As well as you could choose, this is an unfinished, but will eventually be a Legends of Avantris leather dice tray. I can put whatever logo you want on it should you win. Another one of the options that we have is a little satchel of 3D printed D&D coin monies, platinum, electrum, gold, silver, and copper.
Wait, what's Electrum again?
Yep, nobody knows, but that's one of the options as well as what was the
A
4th
pack
one?
of D&D stickers.
Oh yes,
If you don't want any of those,
if
and
you
want
just
stickers
want some
instead,
vinyl D&D stickers,
decals,
we got them
let's say.
decals.
They're
decals.
better than stickers.
For your car, for your refrigerator,
Water bottle, your teacup.
for your pets,
Stick
wherever
them
you
right
want
on
to
there.
stick them, they stick.
We also have signed nude photos of our DM.
Yes, me too.
They're not signed
Look,
yet.
so I
They
have
can
to.
be. I can customize it.
I have to ship these out, so can that not be a prize? So I don't have to package it.
But yeah, the giveaway will be live in chat.
Yes.
So once we reach 400 followers, if we reach 400 followers, we're 8 away. Tell your friends. If you're watching us on Facebook, jump over to Twitch. There should be a link somewhere on all of our stuff. That's where we chat with people. That's where you can follow us. That's where you got a chance to win these cool things. For an example of my leatherworking skills, our 500 follower giveaway may include one of these. This is a custom leather-bound tome that I made from scratch. The paper was custom made in Photoshop. It was all hand-bound by myself, hand-painted, hand-sewn together. And
I
it
want to
is
win that.
fucking gigantic, and it is an adventurer's tome.
Show the scarab. We can put like a little charmy guy on it.
Yep, so I've got a scarab charm on there. It's all hand-painted, hand-tooled, completely done by me. I did a lot of this on stream. If you join our crafting streams, you can see us working on some mini painting that she does. And I do leatherworking and stuff, so I finished this book this week. And that may be one of our 500 follower giveaway prizes.
And she does take commissions.
And I do take commissions, so
whoever asks in there, I can't read.
Glendarg.
Yeah.
Oh, let me fix that for you, Mike.
So if you're interested in a custom commission, you want to have it your way, You can message us at Legends of Avantris via Twitch or join our Discord and message Nikki/Sylvie Flickerwicket there. And I would be happy to talk about custom stuff for you. So
Okay. And I guess
Saturday.
Thanks
you
for the sub, Jack.
Thank you so much.
It's fantastic.
Thank you. You're the best.
And so that book is relevant because it is
Thank
for a character that she will be playing in our brand new campaign this Saturday, first session, Beneath Dark Wings, Session 1. It features the entire Legends of Avantris crew. I will be DMing all of your other favorites that you've seen us. You've been seen play. Will be joining us. The 6-person party. The characters are fantastic. We've done 3 sessions zeros, well, the characters, so it should be good. It's my campaign to fuck up at this point, so we'll see if I do that or not. And with that, I think we're ready to get into what happened last time. So,
Can you make chat louder?
last session, if I can even remember what happened, you had left Undertow Isle behind. The Lockjaw Crooks united under Ratley. You sailed away, trying to figure out what to do about the situation in Gullhaven, knowing that there was a dragon turtle lurking outside, at least as far as the Lockjaws knew, and as far as even Orpheus knew. And you took the time on your voyage to talk to Orpheus. You learned a good deal. You discovered a pocket watch that had been in his possession that was actually a magical artifact that was able to allow the caster to cast a teleportation circle and realize that there were 12 possible locations it could learn. And you learned a bit about Orpheus's backstory, a bit about what his plans were, and during this time you kind of learned that Ganji was experiencing a bit of doubt, a bit of hesitation in kind of everything that had been going on, whether it be the fiendish magic that you had been granted, the fiendish powers you had been granted, as well as the creature that had come out of the portal and racked everyone's brains with horrific visions. And once it came time to deal with the dragon turtle, you decided to face it head on. You, with a little bit of help from Orpheus and a little bit of
Thank you, Drake.
Thank you for the follow.
thank you. A little bit of help from Orpheus and a little bit of deducing, you realized that although you weren't able to use the Eyes of the Abyss, the helmet that Orpheus and Diadra and King Krem had stolen from Vito, that you were able to use it as a conduit to enhance power related to planar banishment, and as long as a sacrifice was given. Ganji offered to denounce his god Bahamut in order to do so and use banish. And Sylvie decided to step up instead. She let Ganji admitted that he was afraid. Sylvie decided to step up. She sat in the helmet like a little cauldron, and with the power of the helmet and a spell that Ganji had prepared into her ring of spell storing, they headed ship first towards Gullhaven, and sure enough, the enormous dragon turtle emerged outside of the city, erupting out of the water, preparing a massive breath of steam to vaporize them. And right before that happened, Sylvie decided to channel the power of Titania, her patron, and let it go. When she finally had come to peace with that decision to let go of Titania, the sacrifice was complete. Her banishment amplified, regardless of any power that this ancient dragon turtle had. It was banished back to the elemental plane of water, and Gullhaven was saved. They were met by an escort who had seen all of this transpire, and they were greeted in Gullhaven as heroes. It had turned out that being a port town, not having your port active for several weeks, was disastrous for trade, for the economy. People were very low on resources, so it was a massive boon to have you guys take care of that, and you effectively saved the city. And you arrived back in town. You were escorted. You were allowed to get your bearings and stay and kind of and relax and enjoy your time home, or rather back at Goldhaven, away from civilization for so long. And you all did a few things. You stopped by the Unicorn's Mane to get some collars made for your new two-headed vulture. Sylvie stopped by I Did Promise a Name, and she stopped by Jolly Joyworks.
You mean it's not something unicorn?
No, the Unicorn's Mane is the leatherworking shop.
Oh, what was that? Who's that again?
With Unicorn Kevin.
Unicorn Kevin. That's canon now, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah,
I love that guy.
Canon, Unicorn Kevin. And you commissioned a little doll, or a few dolls at the party, and and Ganji had gone off to do a few things as well. When you arrived late at night, you saw the Ganji with his things packed, and he told you he was leaving. You guys couldn't believe it, but Ganji said that really that the things that they had encountered had brought a tremendous amount of doubt. The vision that he had seen in the tomb of Bakra Ghul was incredibly troubling. Shook his faith, and then the being that emerged in the darkness, in the shadows, that had, without your consent, bestowed upon you some sort of fiendish power, made him question whether he was on the proper path. And then, to make matters worse, he was given direct orders by his superior officer, as still a member of the military, to get back with the crown that the party had taken at the very beginning of them adventuring together, to get back to his city of Shaitan and to aid the war, because things were changing and the military was nervous, and the chromatic dragonborn were becoming emboldened. And so he said he had to do whatever he could to save his people. And you all gave your goodbyes, you said a few parting words, and he left. And with that, you are all in the room where you had this conversation. Ganji's footsteps disappearing down the hallway of the inn, and you were all sitting there, probably shaken about what had just happened.
It's nighttime?
It's nighttime.
And so we're like, we can hear his footsteps as he's leaving. Like,
Yeah, he's already gone.
How long has it been since he's been gone?
I would say you probably sat there for a good, 30 seconds, minute, just kind of absorbing what's just happened.
Wow.
Well, I hope he finds himself.
And if he has his own path, then I hope
At least he still has Bahamut, and that's what's important.
He does.
Because otherwise his shield would be pointless. He's got a Bahamut head on it.
And I wanted to say that, I do hope that he succeeds in his goal. And I think it's very noble of you to offer the sacrifice that you gave.
Oh, well. That's nothing.
Especially given how brave you were. That's,
Well, I don't think anyone's ever called me brave before, especially a hardy dwarf, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Emotional things make me uncomfortable.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, then why don't we take a look at this? And I grab the package that he left for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I go ahead and I start to open.
You open up the package, and it's wrapped in just a light linen cloth, and it feels like there's a little bit of give, as if it was some kind of clothing. You feel a bit of metal as you tap it, and you open it. As soon as you open it, you see the medallion of the Sea Eagles, the emblem that Amalia had given to him for giving her the pep talk and for in his role in saving her life. You also find a necklace in the pack along with a cloak. you recognize it to be the Cloak of Protection and the Periactive Wound Closure. Everything else, he seemed to have taken with him.
Well, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was that one time that Ganji died when we were scouting out King Krem's tower, and I did his googly eyes over the Rocky Talkies. And then he interrupted me and told me he wasn't dead and kind of ruined the moment, but I'll forgive him for that since he's on a quest right now. But I feel like in that moment that, you know, we really became a lot closer. And do you think it would be okay if I kept the necklace?
Which necklace?
The one he left.
The seagull? Is it a seagull necklace?
The perioptic wound closure.
Oh, it's a
The
necklace.
necklace.
Oh, okay. I mean, given that you're the one that has any kind of restoration ability at this point, I think that makes sense.
I mean,
I have no problem with it.
as long as nobody else is bothered.
Of course not.
Go right ahead.
Well, that comes the next thing, is you see, I don't know enough about it, except for what Ganji told me, and I think I might have too many items currently on me, as a hoarder as I am, to wear this. And so I was kind of thinking, I really liked how warm Orpheus's dad's clothes were. So Avantris, if I trade you my hat, it's really beautiful, and it allows you to disguise yourself. Could I trade you my hat for those clothes?
I think you should definitely take the armor. I wouldn't feel comfortable wearing Orpheus' father's things. It makes me shudder.
Oh, I love the idea.
As far as taking the hat from you, I don't necessarily need that either. I don't want to trade. I'm happy to just have you let you have the armor.
Oh, okay, well then I'll take both of these things, because I'm a hoarder, so thank you.
Can you even wear it?
Well, wear what?
I'll
put my hat.
This leather armor?
I'll put my hat in my pack, and I'll find someone around town who can make it look the way that it looks when I'm wearing it right now. Because I really like the way it looks. It makes me think of Titania, even though I think maybe we're not friends anymore. But I don't know, because I still have my power. I'll have to ask her. Can I call her?
Is there any kind of note in the package?
Nope.
Well, I'll figure it out. Either way, I'm gonna put on Orpheus's dad's clothes and snuggle in for bed.
Good luck with that.
Thanks!
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, so we have the seagull thing. I'm glad he left it. I'm surprised none of us thought to ask him for it, but
Well, I'm just
it was
surprised
quite
we
sudden.
didn't keep it.
To be fair, I didn't feel right asking him to leave things behind.
Right.
I do believe that this is just a farewell for now, and we may see him again someday.
Right. Well, there's this cloak. Who do you think should have it?
I don't know what it does.
I think it made Ganji a little more bolstered.
Well, then you should probably have it, because you almost fell off of a bridge and died.
That's true.
I love cloaks.
That is true.
But you can't wear two, and do you want to keep turning into a bat?
I'm tempted to try to wear two. I like them that much.
I should not find that as funny as I do, but I do.
Well, would you prefer this cloak over that one?
I'll take the bat one if you want to give all of your stuff away.
I'd like both cloaks.
I could be a bat.
I think I'll wear them both.
Can you wear two cloaks?
You really shouldn't double cloak.
To be fair, I'm simply joking around. I'm going to keep the cloak of the bat. Dobro means a lot to me.
Well,
Thank you for all of the hair comments, guys. We appreciate it. All of us have worked very hard on our locks.
yeah, thank you. It's wonderful.
Yeah, so now if you ever fall off of a bridge, the bridge is going to have a hard time hitting you to knock you off of it.
And if you die, then I can wear two cloaks.
Yeah.
Well,
Also, one cloak into the other cloak.
I suppose you could have a front cloak and a back cloak. Is that a thing?
Oh my gosh, and then no one will ever know
That's
whether
just
he's
a
coming
poncho.
or going.
do you fancy yourself a poncho guy?
We could sew them together, yes. I could see myself as a poncho guy.
Alright, well, I'll take it, just given that the guy with the shield is now gone.
Well, you should still call him Ganji.
Well, my point was that he was the really bulky one of all of us.
Yeah, I know. And he was the one that could save our lives if we died.
Right, and now...
So now if Avantris turns into a bat and drops in on someone very powerful and almost kills all of us, we have no escape.
Look,
Yeah, this is getting kind of real for me now that you've said that all out loud.
I haven't died yet.
Yeah.
So...
You say that a
Coincidence?
lot.
I really, I just have to say this. I miss Vanjie. Ganji.
What are you doing? Who's Vanjie?
If there was like a chat and someone in chat who I had said something to out of character, I might have been thinking about that, but I might have just had a dream.
I don't understand that reference.
Anyways,
Ganji.
it's almost surreal
Yeah.
that there's now 4 of us. And then Seamus
There
is
are
here.
4 of us? There were
No,
5
we
of
need to
us.
find Seamus. I left word.
I'm still here, by the way.
Well, no,
Yes,
no,
we have
no, no.
Orpheus.
No,
I'm looking for Seamus. I left word at the front desk.
there are 5 of
To
us.
let me know if you should.
Who's the 5th?
I understand why you hate them, Lumi. They forget
Oh,
about you
you're
all
right.
the
Oh,
time.
I'm so sorry. I totally forgot Lumi. No, you're right.
There's 6 of us then.
There are,
Yeah,
there are
Lumi-
6 of us in this room.
Lumi's a pixie, but she's a people too.
That's right. That's right. And she's very useful, though she's never said a word to me.
She doesn't like you.
She doesn't like much people, or maybe it's just me. Either
Yeah.
way, that's fine.
No, she doesn't like any of you.
That's, again, just
Just to
fine.
be clear, Orpheus, you're not part of the group.
Well, she likes Annulin, but I think it's because Annulin has nice boobs.
Yeah, and Orpheus, I'll second that. You're not part of the group.
Oh, he was talking?
Oh, but you just lost a party member, and I'm here.
Yeah.
But you're kind of
We're also
That kind of makes
we're also
the situation
semi-sure at this
even
point
worse.
you can't do anything. So
You're pretty worthless.
Thanks for rubbing it in.
What can
I
you
appreci-
possibly
I-
do?
I appreciate that.
Can you like hold our bags, maybe? Like,
Don't let him do that. We have powerful stuff in there.
I'm just joking.
No, I like that idea. No, let's do that.
No.
He's still tied up, right?
Yeah, he's tied up.
Okay.
Dwarves are dumb.
So you did such horrible things. You scared away your man of the cloth. Well done.
Thanks.
Boo-hoo, I'm shedding a tear.
Okay.
I don't think that we're the ones that scared him away. I think he always had a duty that was far greater than himself. The rest of us didn't quite have anything like that. So,
Starting to sound like me.
Speak for yourself.
Freedom.
Titania tells me what to do.
right,
told
and
me to
that's
stay with
fine.
you.
But my point is, you're not serving a nation right now. None of us are.
I'm serving the Feywild. That's better than a nation. God, you're so dumb. I hate dwarves. Thank you for the cheer.
Cheers. Did it make a sound?
It did. It was like, ooh.
You also try chaos sometimes. Freedom.
I got as close to chaos as I ever cared to.
Right. Yeah, she
So
almost
close.
died.
Oh, I know. God, that would have been great.
Twice.
Oh my
Twice.
goodness.
Yeah. One
It's
time.
comments
was
like that, Orpheus, that mean you can't be part of the group.
I mean, come on. It's good to have a reminder of how close you came to death at my hands. Keeps you extra careful, I think.
Well, you bring up a good point, not to Annulin, but for anyone that wants to do anything crazy and reckless, just remember that Avantris, and just remember that Genji's no longer with us. So if you happen to be flying as a bat, don't forget that. Please never forget that.
to be fair, again, I have yet to die. I'm doing okay.
I don't
All
care
it
if
takes
you
is
die.
one. All it
If
takes-
you die, I get your arm. I care if I die because I can't whack people with your arm once I get it off of your body.
I think we all need to rest.
I
Yeah.
agree. It's been
I'm
a
really
long
tired.
day. We almost got killed by a dragon turtle today.
Yeah.
So
I need to find Seamus as well.
I need to come to terms with the fact that we've lost a party member. And let's get some sleep.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm
Do it.
tired.
Do I have to still sleep on the floor?
Yeah.
Ah,
do?
great.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. Keep.
Don't complain too much or I'll slap you.
You gotta join in on this boss fight.
Please don't. Please don't. Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
And I guess how are the rooms split up? Does anybody remember?
I thought we just had 2 rooms.
You have 2 rooms.
Yeah, we have 2 rooms.
I think I shared a room with
Ganji downstairs.
It was. I think it was
Yeah,
the
you guys
guys
were
and the
sharing the
gals were
basement.
split.
But now
Oh,
you guys are
that's
up with
right.
us.
Right.
You were a bodyguard.
So Anya and I are for sure gonna have a sleepover.
So Avantris, would you mind sharing your other bed?
Absolutely. We might as well watch Orpheus in our room and
Right.
leave the ladies here to do their lady things.
Yeah. Right.
You want to leave Orpheus in our room?
No, we're gonna take him with us unless you want to torture him all night.
No, please, I'd like to go with you. She scares me.
All right, we'll
I
take him.
I think I have some more growling shit in my bag I could put on him.
Okay, we're going. Can someone help me up here, please?
I lift him up.
I'll scoop him up.
Yeah, we get
Okay,
him up,
this
and
is
I'll
great.
throw him literally I'll throw him over my shoulder. All right, lad, lead the way.
It's a sleepover.
Alright.
Enjoy.
Take him to the room.
Okay.
So we go to our room. We go to sleep.
Okay. So as you all settle down, thanks
Thank
for
you
the
for the
sub,
sub,
Glendara.
Glendara.
It's amazing.
If you're of the Scottish.
As you settle down, your first night drifting off to sleep in civilization for the first time in weeks, Sylvie, you dream. It's a familiar scene. You're kneeling on a rotting log in the swamp where you first met Titania, just as you normally are when your patron chooses to communicate with you. However, something seems to be different. As you look down at the murky bog water, you realize that you're not bathed in the brilliant pink radiance of the summer court, as you had been in your previous dreams. You look up. Gone is the familiar silhouette of a perfectly sculpted Fey woman behind the awesome and terrifying brilliance. Instead, a small mote of light with a greenish hue floats several inches from your face. It looks just like the light you chased from Bog Possum all the way to the Fey crossing you'd stumbled into. Immediately, it darts, makes a quick circle around you, and then flies off into the swamp. You feel an inexplicable need to follow, so you do. The wisp of light moves quickly, but always seems to pause in order to give you time to catch up. As it leads you over fens, around trees, and through still putrid water, deeper and deeper into the swamp, it becomes hard to tell how long you're pursuing. But finally, you turn a bend and are met with the sight of a small hut. Circular, wooden, thatch-roofed, sitting on a small island of peat beneath forlorn boughs of weeping willow. The moat stops and hangs in the air before the closed door, just for a moment, before rocketing into the door and disappearing behind it. The need to follow fills every fiber of your being, and you approach the hut. The swamp around you is eerily quiet as you slowly step onto the peat and close the distance between you and the door of the hut. Its metal handle is corroded and covered in rust. You hesitate, but then reach up to grab it. A sense of dread materializes in the pit of your stomach as you open the door, and then you wake up. It's the middle of the night.
I'm gonna look around. I'm gonna check for Annulin. I'm assuming she's in bed.
She's in bed, or well, she's meditating beside you.
I'm gonna look for Lumi.
Lumi is up.
She sleeps on my pillow next to me.
Lumi, you hear her very faint breathing as she sleeps curled up on the pillow next to you.
I'm gonna take out my my book of grudges, and towards the very back where there are empty pages where I haven't written people's names down with grudges, I'm going to document everything that happened in that dream, and then including a rough date. Would I know what the date is?
Yeah.
So the date, and then I'm gonna write in big like with tears streaming down her face, like big words that say abandoned ?
Cool. Okay. You drift back to sleep, and you all finish your long rest. Waking up.
Tally thing between where it says
Waking up the next morning, feeling refreshed, rejuvenated. It feels fantastic to be back in civilization, in real beds that have not been provided by a bunch of gator folk or croc folk. And the day is yours.
Well, Orpheus, get up. I kick him.
No. Already? Can I have like 5 more minutes?
Nope.
Okay. It was worth a
I
shot.
wish we could leave you alone, but there's not a chance.
It was worth a shot.
Where are we going?
We need to find Seamus.
Right, we do.
And I suppose Amalia, but I'd like to avoid that as long as possible.
Well, let's go down. Let's meet the ladies in the breakfast area, and we'll reconvene.
Agreed.
Okay.
So we get up.
So when Sylvie gets up, she's going to use her hat of disguise. Normally she's in her like very Sylvan-esque, or her summer court outfit with her big hat. Instead, she's going to make it look like she's wearing like a dark cloak, and everything's going to be like very drab colors, and her hair's down, but she's going to have like a hood up, and she's just going to be kind of walking around very mobily.
What's up with you?
Oh, I had a nightmare. I don't want to talk about it. I could use
Are you
a
sure
hug.
you maybe don't want to talk about it a little bit?
No.
Well, go on.
I'm not with you.
You're not there.
I'm with Anya.
Oh, you're still. Oh, never
Yeah,
mind.
it's girl
Forget.
time.
Forget. I said.
From down the hallway, we're gone!
I've accidentally been using my Rocky Talkie the entire time.
Oh, sorry.
No, I don't think so.
And thank you, Wiley. I appreciate it.
Just endlessly pouting into the rock.
No, she's like pouting at you.
Well, you know, your mouth is saying no, you don't want to talk about it, but your face says that you have sadness behind those eyes.
Oh, Annulin, I'm so glad that you asked. I had a creepy dream. So sometimes, can you not tell anybody else this? Because I don't think we've talked about it before. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So Titania talked to me in my dreams, you know, because that's like really normal and stuff, and wouldn't be weird. And so I don't know if I ever told you, but I met her one day when I was younger, and I was wandering around the swamps like you do, in bog possum like you do, and I found like this glowing ball thing, and I followed it.
Let me pause you.
Yeah,
You
sure.
talk to her in your dreams, or you dream that you talk to her?
No, I talked to her in my dreams.
How do you know?
Well, just let me tell you, Annulin. So
All
I
right,
followed
all right.
the thing like you do, and then I went inside of a tree like you do, and fell into the Feywild like you do. And so while I was there, I was in this gross, disgusting, ugly swamp, and it smelled terrible, and it was the worst thing ever, and I was really scared I was never going to get home. And then all of a sudden, I saw Titania appear in front of me, and she was beautiful and radiant and everything that I want to be someday. And she offered to help me get home, and she said that if I did her bidding, that she would give me powers, and that she could see into my heart, and she knew that I wanted to be special because, well, that's not important. I won't talk about that. But she knew that I just really wanted to be special, and so she gave me powers, and then she helped me home. And then sometimes when I dream, I end up back in that swamp, and she's in front of me, and she tells me what to do. Like, stay with them, don't leave them, don't kill Rodak. Yes, Avantris is cute, but he's not for you. Back off. No, wait, I wrote that down somewhere. But anyway, so she tells me things that I'm supposed to do, right? And it's wonderful. Well, and this is the sad part. Last night, in my dream, I was in that swamp, and I saw the little wisp that got me to the Feywild. And I followed it. And then it ended up taking me to this ugly, gross-looking hut, and I opened the door and I felt sick, and it was all boggy and gross, and Titania wasn't anywhere, and I went inside, and then it was still ugly and gross, and then I woke up, and I think that I still have my powers, but I think Titania isn't my best friend anymore.
Well, that is awfully sad, but
That was my
maybe...
lip trembling, in case you couldn't see it. I made the sound so you would know.
Yeah, I caught on to that.
Okay,
But
good.
thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Maybe you guys aren't still friends, but you're just having like a fae fight.
Oh, like kind of like when you slept with my husband?
What?
Do you remember when I married Santa Claus?
I don't.
You know that pirate that was traveling with us that was Santa Claus?
You're a pirate?
Yeah, Midnight Matthias White.
Mm,
Yeah, you slept with him, and I know because I got on my broom and I watched.
you know, I don't even sleep. I meditate, so I couldn't have been me.
Oh, I'm talking about sex, but it's fine. Anyway, remember how we got in a fight after that because I was really mad?
I gotta go.
Is that what you mean, Annulin?
Yes, a fight like that.
Oh. I didn't sleep with her husband, but I did say that I would give up on my oh no, she's probably really mad at me.
So what could you do to make her not mad?
Well, I made Rodic not mad at me by making him a doll out of Gorallin shit and hay, but I don't think Titania would like that. I'm gonna have to ruminate, but honestly, you've made me feel a lot better. Because...
Really?
What? Yeah. Because if she's just mad at me, I can fix that.
You know, I never said this before, but I never really had a lot of friends before I met you guys.
Yeah,
This is new.
I could tell. But guess what? You were second in line to Titania, so I guess now you're my best friend.
Alright.
Yeah. Let's go meet up with the boys, but don't tell them we talked about any of this.
My lips are sealed. You go ahead and I'll be right behind you.
But I'm sullen. You want me to walk alone?
Only for a second.
Do you want me to shut the door, or are you, like, actually walking right behind me?
You can shut the door and I'll be along in like a couple of minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna lay on the floor and listen. No? Okay, I won't.
What?
I'll walk downstairs. This is getting complicated. God, friendships are hard. And then I'm gonna head downstairs to meet up with the boys.
You head downstairs.
Whew.
You see Orpheus propped up in a chair, his hand still bound, and he looks at Vanus and he says, "I guess you're going to feed me now." I'm not hungry.
That's wise.
You-
That's a wise course of action.
And you'll eat. Don't worry.
Well, thank you.
I ordered breakfast
Okay.
for the two
Breakfast
of
comes.
us.
Sylvie joins you at the table.
I'm still in my sullen clothes.
Annulin will be down in a minute. She wouldn't even let me lay on the floor and listen in at the door. God. What a boring day. I'm gonna go to bed.
Didn't we just wake up?
Yeah, I guess I'll stay up.
Anyway, we need to figure out a couple things. Perhaps we can wait until Annulin arrives.
Yeah, I should
but,
probably do that.
Did you?
So
Oh yeah.
I'm up there in the room. I'm just gonna take out some parchment and write some stuff down and fold it up and put it in my bag, and then I'll head downstairs.
Okay. So you take some time. There's a little desk there. There is a collection of sheets of parchment and quills and ink and the like. Just like, at a hotel, it gives you a pen and a little stack of paper, and so you
And the
managed to
Bible.
write it down. Yeah, the Mormon Bible, all that good stuff.
Book of Mormon.
The Book of Mormon, yeah, that's what it's called. And you join the parties now sitting around. Breakfast is arriving. Annulin's offered some sunny side-up eggs and some scrambled eggs.
I'm gonna push away both.
Awful.
It just doesn't feel right anymore.
What, eating eggs?
Yeah, I know that's weird, but it's like I'm eating my babies.
I think that, well, your babies are like
Well-
alive. They've since hatched from eggs.
I've eaten
Yeah,
a lot of babies.
but I'm eating another baby.
But in their most raw form.
You eat raw babies.
Well, I don't want to talk about it.
Anyways,
It's a sex thing.
the
You
whole
wouldn't get.
I'll
All
eat
farm
it.
raised organic babies.
I'll eat it. I grab the plate, I grab the eggs, and I just eat them. So anyway, what's the plan, Avantris? How are you gonna fight Seamus?
I'm not sure. I was going to start by asking around, maybe visiting the wreckage of the old
Well,
inn.
we
It's
could have
potentially
Dan.
that he's been salvaging and looking for things.
Never mind.
What?
Where did you leave word for him?
Here at the inn where we left him. He was staying with us.
Oh.
And now he's
Oh,
gone.
Do
okay.
you think he went to stay with Fergus? Because I have a feeling he's probably with Fergus.
There's a chance, and if we need to head into the Kench, we can. With relative ease, it shouldn't be a problem.
Well, shall we? Let's check with the front desk, see if anyone's attempted to summon us. I know Vito will probably want to talk to us, and we have a few things to show Vito.
And we have to find Alphonse.
Right. We have to find Alphonse. So
Thank you for the
thanks for the
follow.
follow,
Thank you.
Watansi. Tell
You
us
can
how to
make it
pronounce
larger.
Watashi.
Okay.
Yeah,
What the
so click on it.
shenanigans?
So click on the thing, and then just drag that out to make it bigger.
Go ahead.
So, as Vandris, you are heading to the front desk
And then you just want
to inquire. You see the figure of Seamus walking toward you directly. It seems like he'd just gotten in. He is holding his hat, and he just runs at. He's like, "Oh, you're alive, lad!" And he like almost tackles you in a bear hug. He's older, but he's not. Given his past, he's not quite as frail as you'd expect for a man of his age. He gives you a back cracking hug. Oh, I was so worried.
I've been looking for you. Where have you been?
I have a story to tell you. I've been looking after.
Come sit with us. Sit down and talk.
Okay, fine.
Seamus, welcome.
Ah, the lot of
Speak
you.
of Asmodeus.
Hi.
You're all alive. Or did you lose Genji? Is he okay?
He's
alive.
He's fine.
He had to carry on his own mission, and he's left us for the time being.
Well, a man has to do what he has to do.
It's
right?
true.
He's a military type, and those soldiers
Oh, I know.
follow orders.
Not like us, Avantris. Us more
Something else.
No, not like
unsavory
us.
types. We managed to evade. Wait, isn't that the guy that like killed everyone?
His name is Kirby.
His name is Orpheus Radamanthus.
No.
Pleasure to meet you. Are you friends? Oh, are you the one that? You're the one that the creepazoid captured and tried to turn into an even creepier creepazoid, isn't that right?
We have to give him a code name in case he has allies on the outside.
We have reason to believe that he's no longer a threat, or I'd have killed him. Don't worry.
He looks at Orpheus and he looks back at you and he just kind of is like trying to process it, and he just shakes his head and shrugs and he says, "I'm going to assume you have all this under control.
Aye, we do.
One question, did you kill the sea bitch?"
Oh yeah.
Did we kill the
She's
sea
dead.
bitch? She's very dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to see her soul? And I pull out my rod, and if you look in here, that's where she's at.
That's her soul, eh?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, we assume. It's
Yeah.
a long story. We'll have to fill you in on the whole thing.
I owe you all a round of drinks.
No.
But it
No,
looks
you
like you're eating
don't owe
breakfast.
us
No.
anything.
You don't owe us anything.
Well, let me sit down. I'd like to eat. Are you going to finish that, Anya?
We'll feed you.
Oh, here.
Please eat the eggs.
Please take the rest.
He goes and he starts eating. Sorry if an early morning I heard that you all came back into town, and I've been staying at Fergus's place after he got all locked up, and then I've been looking after it and trying to figure out what to do. I was worried you weren't coming back.
Did you say Fergus is locked up?
Oh yeah, that's the story I was gonna tell you, Avantris. Yeah, Fergus may have gotten himself arrested like the day you left.
He never leaves his place. How did this happen?
He said he was going to something that you all had talked to him about in the conversation with the ghost pirate that you had. It gave him an idea. All of a sudden, first thing I know, he's been locked up for trying to ambush Alphonse LeBlanc.
Oh my god.
Oh jeez. Oh my goodness. Oh, I mean, do the Sea Eagles have him? Is he just in Blood Anchor?
Oh, that's last I've heard. I've been trying to ask around of all my contacts. He was told to be locked up and throw away the key, at least for the time being.
Maybe Amalia can help us sort this out if we go speak to her. It can't possibly be as bad as we're all imagining, right?
Yeah.
Hold on, how bad is it?
I mean, he tried to get past the guards of the most powerful of all the Silver Serpents, I'd say, and physically assault him. And you know, when Fergus gets physically assaulting into his mind, that could be a fatal proposition. Apparently, he was screaming incoherently when they dragged him off.
Oh, so just another day. I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So, this is bad. So where's Alphonse now?
He went to Ogway.
And he's still there.
He just took off after the incident.
He took off the same day. He was taking a stagecoach all the way to Ogway. Why he wasn't taking the ship, given that he runs shipping operations, is beyond me. But he took a stagecoach to Ogway, and that's where Fergus intercepted him. Under cover of night.
Oh, this is bad.
Did he manage to
Well,
wait? Go ahead.
I was gonna ask if you've talked to or heard from Amalia.
Oh, I've checked in. She's trying to just trying to keep her job at the circus. Obviously, after the attack, the circus was not doing so well, so she was picking up extra work here and there. I've only seen her around a few times since you've been gone. How long has it been? Like 3 weeks?
Yeah,
4 weeks?
It's been
Almost
a
a
few
month.
weeks. It's been a
But-
few weeks.
I think that we should have enough leverage to be able to get him out.
Right, I believe we can pull strings.
We banished the dragon turtle. We defeated what was going on out at the island. We saved the lives of 2 of the silver serpents. 3, if you count Reeve. We're not 3.
I think a little time in the tank might serve Fergus a little. It might be okay. Now, don't get me wrong. I think we should save him, but I'm not exactly in a rush.
He's been in there for 3 weeks. If it happened the day we
Oh,
left.
that's a good point. I did forget that this happened right after we left.
Yeah.
It's
Maybe
been a
we should go
while.
get him.
Hopefully he's alive, and you think it's possible he's executed already.
I mean,
Or
they
would you
don't just kill people willy-nilly. I guess it would depend on the severity of his crime.
Which is trying to kill one of them, so death is probably in his future.
I mean no disrespect, but they can't think he's in his right mind. Isn't there some sort of like old crazy folks home we could transfer him to or
Oh
something?
yeah, he's nuts. We could definitely get him in the loony bin.
So Amiri and I talked about it a little bit, and that was the insanity defense was going to be our justification, but we don't even know where he is. We assume Blood Anchor.
Well,
All right. Well, then we'll have to make talking to Miss Theramore priority at some point. I assume we're not going to have any way to contact Alphonse, so we'll have to hold off on that anyway, and we can eventually reach out to the Sea Eagles and try to get a hold of where he may be.
don't you worry. We'll take care of it. And how's your inn? Have you made any progress?
I've gotten some of the lads back together, offered a few copper pieces when I can. We're starting to put a few nails in some boards. We have a decent foundation now. Not much
So-
progress.
What
I don't
kind
want
of-
to get you too excited, but we did find a lot of treasure,
Yeah.
You did?
A lot.
and we would like to donate as much as we can to you.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that, Avantris. You risked
No,
life
I
and
do.
limb and saved the
It's the
city.
least that we could do. You housed us and you fed us, and it's only because of us that the inn got destroyed in the first place.
Right?
We feel awful.
Let us at least give you enough to get the inn rebuilt, restaffed.
you see some tears start to well up in his eyes. He clutches his hat and kind of pulls it over his chest, and he says, "Well, that would mean a lot to me. I mean, I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to be a bother to anyone. I can.
It's a gift.
It's
not.
no
It's not
debts.
a loan. You're not in debt.
Well, thank you, all of you. And if you see Ganji again, tell him thanks from me too."
Of course.
So how much did we get? Didn't we come up with a number we were going to give him?
We got like a ton of gems and
Yeah,
stuff, and we were
I
gonna
think
give
we
him
were
like a
gonna-
whole bunch of precious materials.
Now, how do you know offhand how much you would need?
To get back on my feet. Oh, I mean, to paying the laborers and the material and at least like 750 gold.
Just give him the gold.
That is.
Thank you for the
thanks
cheer.
cheer, Glendarg. Or Glendara.
So I'm just gonna give him the gold.
That is more than fair. I think, how much gold do we have?
11,445. But we also haven't
Jesus.
opened the satchel of gold that Matthias gave us.
We haven't?
Guys, I think we can afford to give him more than that.
Let's
He's being modest.
Let's give him 1,000.
give him 1,000 gold, and perhaps we'll leave him a few gems as well. He's right here. Alright, well, here you go.
Well,
Take 1,000 gold.
Thank you. Bless you.
I pull. How many? We have a big bag of gems, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give him like two gems.
Okay. He takes 2 gems and he looks so appreciative. Saluna bless you. Saluna bless you. You're all too kind.
You're gonna do good with this money, so I hope that you'll be the most prosperous in all of Gulhaven.
So, do we know how many gems were in there? Because I only have it written down as fat bag of gems. So.
I probably decided I'll review the tape. and
I'm
we
just
can
gonna
talk about
write in
amount of gold.
parentheses -2.
Okay.
Perfect.
We'll discuss how much it all is and the exchange rate and all that offline, and we'll get it all handled.
Okay, sounds good.
And he takes it very appreciatively. He takes it. He puts it in a pouch that he has on his side. He puts it beneath his coat. You can tell he's not used to carrying around large sums of money, and so he's.
Thanks for the cheers, Andrew.
He's
Really
like,
appreciate
thank you so much, Saluna, bless you. And Orpheus kind of leans back in his chair and says, "So this is going to be a
Thank you for the cheer.
Thank you.
this is going to be a sappy conversation every other hour on the hour. Is that the gist? This is how you heroes do it. You do-gooders."
We've been through a lot and we've accomplished quite a lot. So we're a wee bit happy.
Nope.
Now, all right. Enough out of you. So Seamus, I guess we'll do what we can for Fergus. Is there anything else that we can help you with before we go off and try to kind of clean up everything?
No, you've done enough. You've just had a very long voyage, and I'm sure gotten yourselves almost killed on more than one occasion. So you take it easy. I'll be fine. I just wanted to see you and make sure it was really you. I heard the stories. You all are heroes now.
Should we leave him with the boat to give to Emiria?
Thank you for the follow.
Thank you for the follow, Calgraz.
We're 4 away from our giveaway, guys.
Oh shit. Right.
Well, don't you think it would be better for you to give her the boat?
I think it might be better if I never see her again. She might prefer that as well.
Well, can we make sure he puts up the sail that I made, the one that says the bitch that floats?
I'm sure he will do that.
Perfect.
He's a good man.
Don't you at least want to try to give it to her?
If I can avoid it, no.
Why?
We'll see what happens. I have a feeling I can't avoid her forever anyway, but I would like to avoid it as long as possible. And at least while we're doing things, maybe if he gives her the boat, it'll ease things over for the next time we run into her, because I guarantee you we'll probably run into her.
It's a fair point. Well, Seamus, could you at least keep an eye on the boat, make sure that all of the crocodile lads are paid, and I give them like an extra 10 gold.
No, don't keep your gold. I'll keep an eye on it.
Thank you for the follow.
Thanks for the
Thank
follow,
you.
Liquid Wonderment.
Are those the crooks? Are they?
They're fine.
They're fine.
No, they're
So-
good lads.
Yeah, they were just being forced to do things they didn't want to do. They have a new king now who is just and is they're working to become merchants and live a good life. They just want to stay to their isle and stay to their drinking and make money.
You all are miracle workers.
Aw,
I appreciate
shucks.
that. I'll go check on the ship then. Is it probably the one that looks like it was pirated by crop folk?
It's
okay.
that one.
Well, I'll let you get back to your breakfast. So I appreciate it. He finishes up his food, wipes his mouth. You know where to find me in the Kench. Been staying at Fergus's, keeping an eye on the place, make sure it doesn't get looted and raided, and it's been fine.
All right, don't get in any trouble.
So Seamus takes his stuff, and he leads all Avantris. I'll try. Oh, is Andy back? Well, I'll try to stay out
He's
of trouble.
making noodles, but I'll let you know.
Okay.
He's making
I'll
noodles.
try to stay out of trouble. And he says, once again, I'm glad you're alive. Saluna be praised. And he turns and heads out.
Be well.
So, you're all sitting there. Orpheus kind of looks around and says, so, what's on the agenda for today?
The agenda is that you're going to keep your mouth shut,
Okay.
and we're going to go find Fergus. And if you don't listen to me, things are going to get physical, pal.
I'm
You
sure
might
you'd
even
like
just leave you with Fergus, and that's a good punishment, Mr. Evan.
Well,
I still have growling poop.
why don't we go to the front desk, see if any of the servants have summoned us,
Yeah.
and then we'll leave from
Agreed.
there.
And then we'll
Yeah, and
go
then we
to
go find Amalia.
Amalia, yeah.
Right. So we stand up and go to the front desk.
You find that you go to the front desk and you see the same woman and say, "Oh, the heroes of the town! Miss Theramore was sent word that you could visit her at Blood Anchor whenever you want."
Thank you very
Oh,
much.
wonderful. That was exactly what we were coming to ask you.
And has anyone else come by? Has Vito sent word?
Oh no, he is not. No.
And no one else?
Well, Mr. Velocinik has sent as the one who paid for your rooms, and he's occasionally been by, but not as of last evening of this morning.
All right. Well, we shall head to Blood Anchor then. Appreciate it.
Beautiful.
All right, let's go. Well, hold on. What do we do about Orpheus?
Hold on.
Yeah, hold
he
on.
says.
I mean, I agree with you. I hate to just be babysitting him. He's a big baby, but I don't know what else to do with him. We can't just leave him. I mean, he's not really a threat, but he's always a threat because he's Orpheus.
Yeah.
Could Seamus keep an eye on him?
We could put him in the bag of holding and just take him out every 10 minutes to breathe.
Seamus may be willing to keep an eye on him, but I have to be honest with you. If we give him that, I leave him with the caveat that he has the right to kill Orpheus given at any moment that he doesn't feel safe.
Yes.
That's fair.
I think that he's a very just person. He's level-headed, and he wouldn't do anything rash. But I wouldn't trust him to just say to subdue Orpheus. I would say that he would need to do what has to be done.
All right. Well, would you like to do the honors and ask him?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Seamus,
He's gone.
Oh, shit.
he's gone.
Damn it.
It hasn't been that long. You could probably chase him down if you wanted to.
I'll go run out of the inn and see if I can poke my head out and look around.
Oh, what's wrong, Avantris?
We have yet another favor to ask you. I hate to keep doing it.
Anything. You've done more than enough. You've more than repaid the perch several times over. What do you
Do you
need?
think you could babysit Orpheus for us? I give you the right to kill him at any moment if he gives you any trouble.
Oh, is sure he's out of power.
I mean, I give it a 99% chance that he's out of power. I think that if he had the opportunity to murder me, he'd have done it 10 times over by now.
Can I gag him?
By all means, we do.
Okay, well. And he unsheaths a huge knife, and he says, "Well, I'll keep this to his back if you need me. I'll take him back to Fergus's. I'll get him locked up."
Thank you. And like I said, don't hesitate to use it if you have to.
Okay, where are we going? Where is he?
He's just back inside. If you want to come back in and grab him, we're going to head to Blood Anchor, and we can always meet you back in the catch if we have to.
Okay, so you guide Seamus back, Orpheus.
Sorry.
Orpheus kind of perks up as you guys walk over, and he looks and he rolls his eyes, and you can kind of see that he's thinking about whether he kind of is looking around, deliberating whether or not he should speak, and he says, "Oh joy, do I get to go to Grandpa's house for the day?
Now listen, you.
Are there cookies?"
This man will take good care of you as long as you don't try anything. The second you do try anything, he's going to cut your head off. Do you understand?
That's been the theme of the past week.
Just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. Now go on, and I grab him up, stand him up, and then I pass him to Seamus.
Okay. Oh, that's a knife. That's a knife. Oh, you damn betcha it's a knife. You make one wrong move, this is going right in your kidneys. Good to know. Well, let's go.
Seamus, before you go,
And
He's grabbing him by the shoulder. Yeah.
I'm gonna root around and I'm gonna shovel the remainder of the crusty growling poop into another little satchel, and I'm gonna hand it to him.
if he gets saucy with you, threaten him with this growling poop. He doesn't like it very much.
And I hand the bag to him.
Yeah, it
sure.
smells terrible, but it
Sure.
works.
I'll take care of it. He
Perfect.
shoves it in his bag, and
Glad I could help.
he says, "No, this won't do. If there could be any one of the lives that you've ruined, might come up and try to kill you." So, and he pulls out his hat and he puts it on Orpheus and tries to cover it. He throws up his hood and looks at him and says, "Good enough." And so, "Come on, pretty boy," and he pulls him out and says, "Well, you know where to find me. I'll be at Fergus's with this one." And
Don't be afraid to send for us if you need to.
we'll do, and don't get Fergus killed. Do whatever you can.
I can't promise he might not do that to himself, but we're going to try to stop whatever happened.
He drags him away, and Orpheus kind of calls over his shoulder and he says, "Well, I've almost grown fond of you. We've been spending so much time together. Toodles!" And so, careful. And he walks him out, and you are.
Oh, wait! Come back again.
Yes.
Take this rock, and if we need you or you need us, just talk into it.
Seamus grabs
Great
it,
idea.
and he touches it.
Thank you for the follow.
Critical Volpe, thank you.
Thank you. And so I just press this swirl here, and hello, can you hear me?
We all get
Seamus's voice.
Seamus, where are you? I'm right here. Do you need help? Over.
Not yet, at least.
Oh, we said to use it if you needed help or something. Okay,
I'm
bye.
testing it out. Okay, that's fine. Okay, and he grabs
He's
him.
right there. I could have just looked
Yeah,
over
that's
there.
right. No, but at least he knows how it works.
Yeah. But I was just testing it with you too. Yeah.
All right, let's go. I
He
start
pulls it off. And
stomping off the blood anchor.
Okay, so you see Orpheus and Seamus head out towards the Kench, down the entrance to the city beneath Noble Garden, and you make your way across the bridge from Noble Garden into Blood Anchor. You remember the island which has the ship, a lot of the ship works, and a lot of the military barracks and the fort and the like. And as you're walking through the streets, there is a great sense of jubilation in the air. That people are excited. They're running around. There's an excitedness and a joy and a happiness that you haven't seen since before the Crooks sieged the city. And as you make your way, you get the occasional kind of whisper, and people are pointing at, you hear the word hero thrown around, and kind of said loudly, and people are waving at you and cheering, and people occasionally come up and thank you, and "Oh, thank you, you saved our whole business," and people are incredibly grateful to you. So it takes you a little bit longer. It's like going through a convention in a really good cosplay. You just get stopped constantly.
Please, everyone. There's plenty of Vanders to go around. Yes, that's VAND. Yes, you got it.
Vandris is signing autographs.
No, you're very welcome. Don't worry about it, really.
And you make your way, as soon as you get probably about halfway across the bridge, there are some seagulls that notice you, and they step in line with you and they escort you to the primary fort where you had previously spoken to Amalia about the problem with the Children of the Sea that had infiltrated previously. They guide you through the fort and take you through the rooms. You see soldiers giving you a full salute as you all make your way. Even in their discipline, they seem incredibly grateful and are trying to express that to you. They guide you through the different relative hallways and until they get to a large door with a heavy knocker. And because the heavy knocker is the theme of the stream.
Yeah!
With the head, the head of a sea eagle, and one of the soldiers steps out, does not flop it down, and
Andy. Mature stream, everybody.
Mature stream, ladies and gentlemen, mature stream. And the door, you hear, "You may enter," and they open the door. You see Amalia sitting in her office, which I believe you had previously sat with Reeve. A relatively large room, a circular table with a map of the surrounding area of at least for hundreds of miles all around, several islands, and all along the coast. And you see varying models, wooden models of ships, and soldiers and models kind of stationed all around, and where you can get the sense of probably where, in the wake of them actually being able to send their people out and do things, she was probably hard at work kind of figuring out where they can actually be useful on the sea instead of patrolling in Gullhaven. You see kind of paper strewn about. It's definitely a mess, and you see a very long table where she had been working. As you enter, you see kind of the light return to her eyes. You remember that she has her cape over, kind of shrouding one of her shoulders, and you get the sense that, I forget what, I'll look it up which armor it was, but you see one of her shoulders is a vacant of an arm, despite it being covered, and she stands up and gives you a curt but polite smile, and says, "Well, if it isn't the heroes."
It's good to see you again.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for saving the city, doing what myself and my men could not do. I'm deeply indebted to you. All
we
of us
couldn't have done it without you.
Well, I appreciate any bit of assistance I could have given. Things were dire here, and we had no idea when they would come back, and I cannot believe that just a handful of you were able to do everything you've done.
Well, it was,
It wasn't just us. The crooks, the alligator lizard, there were alligators, right? Or crocodiles.
Crocodiles.
The crocodile lizard folk, if it weren't for the help of a group of rebels, we never would have been able to do it. And they are now, with the fall of King Krem, turning over a new leaf. Merchants. It was an amazing, amazing thing to watch. People who were held against their will, being forced to do things they didn't really want to do. They just want to make money. And now they're going to do it in a legitimate way, and that's amazing. I'm really excited for them.
I find it very hard to believe, but I trust you. That if they can turn over a new leaf, and who am I to... Well, I'll be honest with you. I was plotting revenge the second when I knew the dragon turtle was gone, and I had ships ready to go at every hour of the evening to head out and seek revenge on that island. But if what you say is true, King Krem has been dealt with, vengeance has been dealt for Gullhaven, and if you trust them, I trust them.
We got your revenge. And I pull out my sword. And I say, as you can see.
Her eyes widen with this kind of twinkle of excitement, her usual composed nature kind of cracking a little bit, and she eyes it and says, "May I?"
Go right ahead.
Rather, may I? And she
It's awfully heavy, but
and it clatters to the ground, and you see a bit of disappointment kind of come to her face as she realizes it, almost as if she's kind of reaching for it to support it with an arm that isn't there, and she just kind of looks at it longingly and kind of thank you, and hands it back off. You've done incredible good, and I can't believe that it was only 5 of you, and I was sorry to hear that that Genji's people were in trouble, but I was able to bid him farewell and thank him again for everything he did. I had no idea if I would have run for the cliffs had he not given me a pep talk after the assault. So it was a shame, but I'm glad to see that you, at least for the time being, are staying with us in our city.
About that, this is all well and good, but I have some bad news, I suppose. Are you in possession of one Fergus Flamesighter?
Her eyes narrow, and she gives you a side eye. Yes, why?
He belongs to us.
Yeah, he's my friend. I hate to say it, but he's my friend.
He's a little nuts and
A lot nuts.
a lot nuts.
But let's hear out. I need to ask what actually happened. Can you give us an accurate account of what happened?
I can give you an accurate account. I trust my men to have given a report that Alphonse and Laudna, as well as Alphonse and Laudna, were with their ward and the young girl that runs the magic shop, were in the stagecoach heading to Ogway, to his family home. It was too much for him to bear, the destruction to Gullhaven. He had to leave immediately. And the night that they left, this wild dwarf man is screaming incoherently, and he rolled through my men, managed to as soon as they approached him, he managed to redirect their swords and was shockingly agile, they say, while screaming completely incoherently. He tried to go directly for Alphonse, and he's lucky he didn't get killed on the spot.
So, about that, have you talked to him at all?
I've attempted to talk to him. He's
So
refusing to talk to me.
He's a little bit strange. He tried to convince me, you know that spell that I used to save your life? Well, where
Yes.
I teleported to you and brought you back? He was trying to convince me that every time I use that I die, and it's a clone of myself that comes back through, which I think we both know is bullshit.
I don't know anything about magic. That sounds ridiculous, though.
It's ridiculous. And so, I'm gonna be quite honest here with you. I know that he's completely crazy, and I may have been kind of fucking with him. And I told him that Alphonse was a Dracula, which is a vampire. And so it might be my fault that he went to kill him. I think he believed me, and he thought he was a Dracula. And I really am so sorry.
It's not just Sylvie's fault. It's all of our
He's
fault. I'm willing to take
absolutely
responsibility.
crazy.
But if you could maybe let us talk to him and you come with us,
Yeah.
maybe we can get this cleared up.
Because I was definitely fucking with them.
That's completely absurd.
Yeah, and
Well,
so is the
Fergus
fact
is
that
absurd.
that we would have died when I saved your life and you came back as a clone, but that's what he thinks.
Well, he did seem not all there. He's barely agreeing to eat, from what I hear, but
He thinks that the higher-ups talk through gold and refuses to have any kind of money on him at any time.
we found no money on him. That's what I heard. He is refusing to talk, though, and Alphonse seemed to be quite insistent on having him locked up for a good long while until he returned from Ogway.
Do you know when he's coming back?
I do not know. He has not traveled to Ogway in a very long time, and what he's doing there he would not tell us.
We're not asking you to just let him go, but at the very least, let me talk to him and see if I can convince him to eat so he doesn't die.
For you as a favor, for the saviors of Gullhaven, I will allow it.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
And, well, would you like to see him now?
Yeah, I think it's best.
Agreed.
We can catch up on everything that happened at another time afterwards. I'm not promising that I will immediately release him. We must talk about it. If he's willing to explain himself and apologize, I may be able to work something out.
That's understood.
I do not want to disobey Alphon's wishes, despite us being of the same station, but I also you understand you've done an incredible thing. So
We would never ask you to do that.
I will take you to the dungeons now. She waves off some of the guards, and she stands up and starts guiding you through the fort. And she takes you down a few different hallways, some spiraling staircases, down, down, down deep. You see kind of a layer of cages, a layer of cells, kind of into the earth, and then she passes them and goes further down into the earth, and there is a very heavy metal door. She pulls out a silver key and unlocks it. It opens with a loud thud, and you see a very short hallway with what it seems to only have like 3 cells that are very, very, very heavily reinforced. And at the very far back, it's just very dimly lit by torchlight. There's kind of the smell that hits you. There's just this dankness as you see a dwarf completely chained up with his hands to his chest. His legs, his feet are bound together as well. There's a heavy iron ball, and you recognize Fergus Flamesider. His reddish-brownish hair, completely, already wild, longer than you'd seen it, the most frazzled and wild Vantage probably that you'd ever seen it. And he's just looking down, kind of staring at the ground.
Ah, buddy, what did you get yourself into this time?
He hears your voice, and he perks up a little bit. Fires! Is that you?
Yes, Fergus, it's me. I promise.
How do I know this isn't a trick?
Don't you always have weird questions that you can ask me that only I can answer?
That's an excellent point, and you know all of my brilliant points by heart. That's a good question. What lives at the South Pole? Wait, who's with you? You kind of see him here. Go ahead.
It's the rest of the gang. You met them earlier.
Hi, Fergus.
Hi, Fergus.
Hello.
It's Sylvie's clone.
You all kind of step into the firelight from the torches, and you hear Amalia take a step back and say, well, he hasn't been talking before, so I'll give you all some privacy.
Thank you.
And I'm going to lock you in here. I hope you understand that's just a precaution.
That's okay. I can get out if I need to.
Do we just not to get out?
I'll just make another clone.
Alright.
I'll be returning to my my office, but there's some guards right outside who will be able to let you out.
Okay, lovely.
And she leaves. You hear a loud clank and the door locking, and you see Fergus kind of look at all of you, and he says, how do I know you aren't all shape-shifting hobgoblins or something?
Well, to answer your question, the answer to your question, to prove that I am who I am, we all know that at the South Pole, it's actually just a base that the elite keep to prevent people from finding out that the Earth is flat.
The real Avantris would never say that. He knows the answer.
Mind flayers.
What?
Or maybe
What do
they're
you
on the
mean,
North
Fergus?
Pole.
That is the answer.
That is not the answer. We've talked about this. Who are you and what did you do with Avantris?
Penguin?
No, hold on. He might be misremembering. I think you said something about pyramids with mind flayers.
Yeah. See, I was right. Mind flayers.
Are mind flayers brain-eating monsters?
Yeah.
Aye.
Okay. Wait.
Brain-sucking monsters. It's more of a sucking than it's an eating in the sucking.
So...
And every time I use Dimension Door, I die and it creates a clone of myself.
No, that's exactly right. I've been telling all of the magic users I know
Yeah,
not
you
to use
told
it.
me that when Vandris introduced me to you.
Yeah, no, but at least your not clone, your original. I don't know how many times you've used it, but
3
I told-
times.
Well, yeah, you've died 3 times.
I'm third clone Sylvie.
We also know about the barrel that you keep that protects you from the listening money.
You kind of see there's a wildness in his eyes, and his beard is filthy. His rags are completely filthy. He's in some prison clothing. You see a plate of food not too far from him that is almost entirely untouched. You can tell that he's basically just eating enough to get by. And he said, "Okay, one last question. What are the elites putting in the water supply?"
Diminution potion.
That's the Avantris I know and love. How did you survive? What happened to the ghost pipe? What happened to the island? Did you find the ghost stream?
So can we like give him a whole little overview of like what happened while we were gone?
Wow, folks. that is unbelievable. Now I tell some very hard to swallow truths, okay? But I am finding it hard to believe everything you just told me.
It was quite the adventure. And listen to me, listen. We're gonna get you out of here, all right? You gotta promise me though a couple things, all right? You gotta eat. I can't have you dying in this cell before we can get you out. But you gotta tell me what you were doing that night.
Fergus, were you trying to kill him because I told you he was a Dracula?
Well, I don't know what a Dracula is.
A vampire.
You're damn right I was. You're damn right I was. I am sick! Vampires! Running things!
Okay, well, Fergus, I might have been wrong about him being a vampire.
And that's not all. Wait.
Okay.
Wait.
I will wait. Yep. Get it out, buddy.
Do you have any gold on you?
No,
I
we left
do
it all
not.
outside.
We left it all outside.
Turn out your pockets.
I do not have any pockets on my outfit.
Somebody turn out your pockets.
I turn out pockets that I don't have anything in them.
I'll make using my hat, I'll make because I'm still wearing Sylvie's Sullen outfit, I'll make it pockets that turn out with nothing in it.
See, Fergus, we got nothing.
Well, don't you repeat this, Avantris. Hissy, she's alive. She is alive. I saw her with Alphonse.
Fergus, don't you mess with me.
I am. Do you think I would be chained up right now if I wasn't telling the truth?
How far is he away from the bars of the cage?
He is probably like a good 2
We're
feet.
in the cage with them, right?
No, you're right. You're outside.
Oh.
Is he close enough that I'm able to reach through by the collar of his shirt and like pull him real close?
He's probably almost there. Make a dex check for me.
Thank you for the
I want to
follow.
try. I want to try to snatch him up.
Thanks for the follow.
We'll see if you can reach him far enough. He's kind of creeping
I rolled
closer.
I rolled a 19, which is like +9 for dex, so 28.
+5 for dex, not a saving throw. But
+5 for dex, so 24.
24. Either way, he's been kind of heaved himself up and has been kneeling, kind of shimmying closer, and you just grab him by the collar and kind of heave him up. And he's looking at you with these wild eyes, and he says, you gotta believe me, Avantris.
Alright, so first off, I swear to God, if you're lying to me, I will harm you. You're my friend, but this is nothing to joke about. 2, you need to tell me exactly what you saw.
Everything that Sylvie was talking about, I was like, well, maybe he is not actually a literal serpent hydra. just given what you all had talked to him, because I never personally met him, and you apparently had. So my excellent sources. I've told you about them, right?
Yeah.
Aye.
They're excellent sources. I went out under the dead of night, and I saw him leave. Once he got out of the confines of Gullhaven, I staged my ambush. His stagecoach was riding by, and it was all covered up, but I could see the lantern light. I could see it. It's elite. It was all covered in velvet. He thinks he's so much better than us.
Focus.
Oh yeah, sorry. And then I was right along the side of the road, and I saw the curtain pull back, and I saw a little halfling face look out. And I swear on whatever, I swear on Saluna, I swear on Pelor, I swear on Bahamut that was our hissy.
And is that when you decided to attack? Were you trying to get her back? What was your plan?
Well, I just knew that Alphon, that she was in Alphonse's care, and so I'm sorry. I mean, excuse me. I had swam for 2 miles that morning, and I had a big fat steak for dinner, and I was wild. I was unhinged. I was feeling vital. I'd had an extra dose of super dwarven vitality, and I just flew off the rock. He's just traitor scum.
Listen. Settle down. I know that when you get on a rampage, you would absolutely devastate all of those people in about 20 seconds.
No, I was gonna do it if there weren't like 15 of those guys. I would have devastated them. I would have taken Alphonse out.
I know. I understand. I believe you. But okay. So we know that he's in Agwe, or potentially in Agwe. God, nah. This is we don't have time to deal with this right now.
So this is my idea, okay? Just follow me. You trust me, right? A little
Sure.
bit, at least a little bit.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so I don't think he's a Dracula. I think I was wrong there, but I do believe you might be right about this. So they're not going to let you anywhere near him. They will let us, but we don't want you to be stuck in here. I told Amalia that I was wrong about him being a Dracula, and that I had convinced you, because I'm an asshole, that he was a Dracula, and that you went after him for that reason. When she comes to talk to you, I want you to tell her the truth. That I convinced you he's a Dracula, and you went to fight him for that reason. And hopefully she'll let you out. And then you need to collect your sources, and get us any information you can, and we will go to Agwe to get Hissy back.
And for God's sake, stay in the Kench.
Stay in the Kench. Because if they find out what you know, they'll take you.
But just these people are working with these elite scum. Am I supposed to kneel and grovel for them when they have
For
this?
now. Just for now. We're playing the long con here.
You gotta tell me, we saw her die, right?
Yeah, as clear as day. It's haunted me ever since.
I don't know what's going on, but there's something going on. You can help me get out of here, right?
If you do what I tell you to, tell Amalia the truth. You attacked him because I told you he was a Dracula and I was wrong.
Well, I guess for their sake, it's been a month since I've had any super dwarven vitality, or any bone broth, or any Yulongese banshee peppers, or any big fat pieces of red meat. They're lucky.
Easy, man.
Just
Get a grip of yourself.
So,
Wait, so how did Hissy die? If you don't mind.
She ultimately sacrificed herself to save all of us. It was an ambush, an absolute ambush by spirit monster. It was an absolute nightmare. She sacrificed herself, and that was it. We were able to escape unharmed.
It was the ghost tree?
it was the ghost tree. That's where I came up with the idea.
I mean, I don't necessarily believe in that, but he hasn't shut up about it since.
Well, I'd like to hear what Fergus has to say about it.
What are the chances that a random house in the Kench. All of a sudden, we just step in looking for some just groveling piece of shit for Belliver, some little slimy dope fiend. And all of a sudden, instead of him, a bunch of ghosts fly out of the fucking floor. And
To be fair, we were in a house in the Kench where tadpoles started raining out of the walls and ceilings, so anything's possible at this point.
Exactly, the ghost stream is possible. I saw it happen. There must have been a weak spot that the ghost stream led out on in this house. That's the only explanation I have.
And the ghost stream killed Hissy.
The ghost did.
The ghost.
I saw the light go out of her eyes as I was dragging Emirius, kicking and screaming out of that house. And she used her holy magic, and he's like trying to like do some kind of like holy symbol. Bless her tiny little soul.
Now, does anyone remember the spiritual advisor that Alphonse took on?
It was a halfling
It was
girl.
a halfling girl.
What?
But we don't know anything about her.
Whoever this is that might be Hissy has been consulting Alphonse willingly on the ways of what's the goddess?
Selena.
On the goddess of Seluna.
You don't think she's potentially been resurrected or something unholy?
All I know is that the Hissy. Why would Hissy be alive and never say anything to us? Why would she leave Amalia? That is completely. That's unfathomable, Vanders. That.
She wouldn't. I agree with you, and I'm starting to see what you were seeing before, and I can understand why you did what you did. We're gonna have to confront this Alphonse very carefully.
I don't know what's going on. Why? And you know as well as I do that elites are ungodly scum. They don't care about the gods.
Now, I think you're right. And I don't know what's going on, but if we get you out, like they said, you need to figure out if you can find any more information without trying to kill anyone. You understand?
I just get so worked out. There's got this.
Alright.
You know, the elites have got these little
It is.
mustaches, these little demonic little mustaches, and they're just, they think they're so much better than us.
It's alright.
Yeah.
Just breathe.
Okay.
So you remember the plan?
No, I don't remember the plan. Can you go over it like 1 or 2 or 3 more times?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go over it 1 or 2 or 3 more times.
He's like he's blowing the hair out of his face, trying to get there. And I feel like I'm gonna pass out, like I haven't eaten in a few days.
Well, you
Then
probably
you need
have.
to eat.
You think they got any bone broth?
No.
Do I have,
Just eat what they gave you.
would I have any red meat, like, in my pack?
You may have like some dried up.
Like jerky or
Yeah,
something?
you did probably some dried rations. Or
Okay,
something.
I'll try to, like, give him some jerky.
Oh,
Not this. Go
Oh,
on.
oh, man, it's been
Oh, it's...
been like a month. Oh, but it's like good. Ugh. Ugh.
It's like...
I feel my strength returning. I feel like I could just run
So-
50 laps around this place.
So you're gonna talk to her and you're gonna tell her what's going on, and hopefully you'll get out. You're gonna go to the Kench and you're gonna find as much information as you can, and you're gonna try to get it to Vandris. Okay?
Yeah, I feel like we have a real plan.
We
Like,
do.
I'm alive. I got hot blood pumping through my veins.
Yes.
Vanders,
Yes.
I somehow have not thought about this because I've been so just angry about Alphonse. What do we do about Amalia?
What do you mean, what do we do about her?
We can't tell her what we...
No.
She's not gonna come looking for us. Just avoid her. She's worried about keeping her job in the circus like some freak. Let's just let her be. We're gonna take care of this.
Okay. How's Seamus okay?
Yeah.
He's great. He's gonna get the inn back up and running.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard from Seamus. I haven't heard from... Miriam's the last one I heard from. I thought you were dead. dead got killed by
Never.
lizards and brain sucking monsters or something. I don't know.
Now just follow the plan, and we will get you out.
Okay. I think I can do that. I feel like I've got my vitality returning to me now that we have a real plan. Taking down these scum.
Good,
Yep.
good. Focus on that.
Okay.
Alright, well, we are gonna go. Send word once you're out. If you need to have Seamus send it, you can't send it yourself, that's fine. Just make sure that you send word to us when you're out.
Okay.
Okay,
I will.
okay. Let's go, guys.
Let's go.
Goodbye, Fergus.
He's
I
kind
knock
of.
on the.
He says, "I'll see you soon. I'm gonna get out of here soon. This place cannot contain me." Arrgh.
All right, come on.
Knocking us.
You knock on the door, and a guard opens, and he says, "Is he gonna be fine?"
Yep,
It'll be all right.
this is him on a good day.
Oh, you can't hear me. You hear that? You hear that? You cannot contain me. And so the door shuts as his screaming voice is echoing through, and he's getting very pumped up, and shuts with a loud
We
slam.
can hear it echoing as we're
You
walking
can
up
hear
the
it
stairs.
echoing, "Ah!" and he is screaming.
Oh my god.
The guard escorts you back to Amalia's office, and as you see, you're kind of poring over some documents as you get back, and she looks up and says, "Well, did you get him to talk?"
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, you couldn't hear him screaming, your bars can't contain me, rah.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
Is that what
yeah.
he's saying?
Yeah,
It's for the best you didn't hear it.
yeah. But like we said, he's not all there. But
We have
I
a little
did.
bit more insight as to why he did what he did. And you know, I think that as Sylvie mentioned before, it's mostly our fault he did this. So maybe talk to him again and see what you can do.
And I did make sure to let him know I was screwing with him and that he is not a Dracula. And you should not be going to fight him as he is not a Dracula. And I repeated it at least 5 or 6
Well,
times.
If he cooperates, given that you're saying he is not right in the head, and he's your friend, and you've
We
done
believe he should be on house arrest in his own
a
home.
great service, and he agrees to cooperate fully, and stand a small private trial before me, he may be able to be out within the next day or so.
That would be wonderful.
We appreciate it.
And this is as a favor
Thank
from
you.
me.
Right.
And
Very,
Understood.
very much.
I will have to deal with Alphonse once he finds out.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. So, shall we discuss other business?
Well, I would like you to just tell me what happened.
So we just give her the run.
And you give her the rest, and she kind of nods in appreciation and says, "Well, we are forever indebted to you, but is there... I've been talking with Vito and Reeve, and I hope you'll stay with us in town for at least another week or so."
It's doable.
We could.
What is the reasoning, if you don't mind me asking?
I would, she kind of grimaces a little bit, I would love to tell you, but Vito said he wanted to tell it to you himself.
Well,
Should we go visit him?
He was very eager for your return, and I think he would be delighted to see you.
Would he be available now?
Well, it's midday. I assume he's been hard at work repairing his workshop, but he's got right on track very quickly, so I would imagine he's in his workshop slaving away.
okay, well,
We'll go pay him a visit. And then Reeve as well. Did you mention he wanted to speak to us?
I'm sure he would like that. I'm sure he would like that.
All right. Well, you let us know if there's anything we can do to help with repairs or anything at all. If you think that we could provide assistance, we'd be happy to.
Yeah, and then also, get out of my coat. Lummy, get out of my coat!
And so then my pixie flies up out of my coat and she's like shaking her hand at me.
This is Lumi. She's
Hello,
a pixie.
Lumi.
She's from the Feywild.
Hello.
So now that we don't have Ganji, sometimes when we have to message you, we might be sending messages through her. So watch this.
And then my eyes go white and I start speaking through Lumi's voice.
Hello, this is Sylvie Flickerwicket via the LumiCon. I don't like it. Lumi phone, Lumi, the
I think I understand.
Yeah. Okay, I'll come up with something and then I'll let you know the next time. Anyway, this is how we'll communicate going further. Roger that.
And then I go back
Nice
into
to meet
Sylvie.
you.
Yeah, you can go back in, and I open my coat for her to fly back in. She's very shy. She doesn't like people.
Well,
It's a pixie thing.
I hope you'll see Vito. I'm sure he would love to see you and the rest of us. Obviously, I mean, you were responsible for saving the three of the lives of me, Vito, and Reeve. But everyone else, I believe I speak for everyone, including Bartholomew, Campana, Laudna, and Alphonse, when I extend my sincerest thanks, and I wish there was more we could do.
Well,
We'll let you know.
we'll stay in touch, and we're happy to stay at least for a few days.
Oh, one more thing. And she goes into her desk and pulls out a small satchel, and she pulls out 4 different emblems, and these are similar to the ones that.
Thanks for the sub,
Thank you for the
Kyle.
sub.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And you see that it is the emblem of the sea eagles, similar to the one that Ganji had given you. But this one seems to be pristine, elaborate with a filigree, and she hands one to each of you. And he says, "Well, being the heroes that you are, and you can kind of see it's outlined. It's a shiny silver color.
Thank you for the cheese.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And just you being the saviors of our town, I doubt you'll need this, but please take this and wear it if you wish. Show it to any sea eagle. They'll know that you're with me."
So it's official now. We're actually real heroes.
By definition, yes, you are. Avantris True Strike.
Don't let it get to your head, lad.
Might be too late for that. I pinned it on the inside of my cloak.
Well, thank you. This means truly a lot. And we
Thank you,
appreciate what you're
Kyle.
going to do for us with
It's
Fergus.
really sweet. What he
Well-
said was just really sweet, so we can
We do our best.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
Wow,
That's
that's
really,
really
really
sweet.
wow,
sweet.
that's
Thank
really
you.
sweet.
Yeah.
Wow.
It just warmed my little heart, my little gnome heart, and my human heart
We
at
love
the
you
same
guys.
time.
We love all of you. She personally escorts you to the entrance of the fort. You see her when she kind of steps outside. The wind whips back her coat, and the empty sleeve kind of flaps a bit in the wind as she gives you a left-handed salute and bids you adieu.
Did I know when my stuff was going to be ready to be picked up? Would I know if it was like worthwhile to stop by and grab it before going out there? Or?
You had just put it in the previous evening.
Yeah, I
So it's
just
gonna
wasn't
be it's
sure.
gonna be a while, a couple days.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if we said.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
All right. Well, shall we go pay Vito a visit?
Well, yeah.
I
mean,
think so.
I don't really want to stay here a week, so if he can do whatever he needs to do sooner than a week,
Let's
then
hear him out.
let's chip chip chop chop. That's the saying, right? Chip chip chop chop.
Close enough.
Cool.
Right?
That's how I'm gonna say it.
Now, shall we?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Here we go.
So
we
you
make haste.
you quickly make haste.
Proceed.
It is a slight kind of chill kind of nips at you, and you realize that that you're into later autumn at this point, actually approaching winter. And despite it being a bit more southern on this continent, the continent of Carquinus that you're on, it's getting a little nippy as the wind kind of picks up and you're high on the cliffs, and it feels good to be back in the city that you had spent so long trying to save the best you can, and after feeling like you actually succeeded. And it's the same kind of vibe. There are even nobles and commoners alike are very appreciative as you make your way through the streets. And you make your way to the Egg of Eternity. You see, as you're approaching back from the bridge, that huge hole in the side of the cliff that had been destroyed by the weapons of war from the Lockjaws has been patched up with some kind of strange material, and the shattering of the glass dome of the Egg of Eternity has all been repaired, and it was a pretty quick work, I guess. There's a lot of the damage, particularly the Vito's manor and his museum, have been repaired. As you arrive, you're greeted by the same human woman who had led you to his place of residence, and she perked up a little bit, and she says, "Well, good to see you."
Hello.
Hello.
Is Vito available for company?
He is very excited to see all of you. He told me about your heroics, and said that you had previously required disguises given the goings on, and it is good to finally see you without such disguises.
Oh, right. Well, I appreciate that he understands and that
He's been telling everyone.
All right.
He's very excited to see all of you. And so we are working on, you'll be happy to know, a new Feywild exhibit. Starting with the medallion of honey gold that you provided, and we're trying to find additional artifacts to fill out an exhibit.
That's exciting, and I'm sure we would love to see it one day.
As a fair warning, just be aware once you get that exhibit set up that there are bears around that are crafty as hell. So just watch out for those
Don't
bad
put any
boys.
honey around the exhibit.
They have been known to set up heists, and this could be a hot spot. So
Right.
be aware. Anti-bear.
Well, I'll let the guards know to keep an extra careful eye on any bears
They
nearby.
speak with weird accents. You can't really miss them though.
Yeah.
You've seen far stranger things than I have. Let me take you to Vito. He'll be so excited to see you. And she whisks you through the museum. You see that that there were some exhibits there that had been looted or completely destroyed, and so there are some under construction sections, some areas that have been. Some areas that are new and with some brand new stuff from that you recognize from his huge vault beneath his manor, and you kind of see that there's also people kind of taking the time to go to the museum now that the threat of not having enough resources is gone and the dragon turtle has been dealt with. And she takes you back to that back door that you remember, to the pathway up the hill to his elaborate manor that sits on the very top of the cliffs. And there are sea eagles stationed all along the way, and she guides you through. There are definitely the occasional remnant of like the combat that had happened, maybe like a scrape on a rug here or there, some singes on a painting. You can see the stuff that had been mostly destroyed has been replaced, and she guides you to that same spiral staircase going upward. And here, let me turn this up real quick. And as she reaches the top of the door to the workshop, she presses a button on the side of the door and says, "Mr. Velosnik, the heroes of Gullhaven are here to see you." And you hear a loud, "Wonderful! Let them in! Oh my goodness!" And the door slides open, and you see the strange light and gleams from all of the contraptions of Vito's workshop kind of shining into the hallway. And the woman nods at you and says, "Enjoy," and she heads down. You step inside to Vito's workshop. You can definitely see the remnants of the damage here, where it seems like, you remember, King Krem had actually been in and had actually successfully looted for a lot of it. You see some of his contraptions that he'd been working on, where parts had been stolen, kind of half done, half built. You see strange gems. Strange gem that kind of reminds you of the gem that was emblazoned into the blunderbuss that you have, kind of lining the wall. They're all glowing with different colors. Some are arcing with like electricity. Some are kind of this radiating, kind of occasionally shooting fire out. You hear the whirs of us kind of spinning discs and rolling balls that kind of are moving all around this what looks like a mad, almost like a mad scientist, mad inventor's workshop. And you see, standing at the center of this beautiful workshop, Vito in his same red and black outfit, his huge black working gloves, and his goggles placed firmly, his bristly mustache quivering and tingling, shaking as he's holding his hands together and almost jumping up and down, and says, "I knew you could do it. Did the Rocky Talkies help?"
Oh my gosh,
So
they
much.
were invaluable.
They're hands down probably the most useful thing we've used in the last year.
Yeah, they were amazing.
Ooh, I knew it! That is wonderful to
You're
hear.
brilliant.
How have you been?
I've been amazing. I mean, having my inventions taken and my workshop destroyed was not great. I'll admit,
No.
it was less than great.
Yeah.
But it inspired me. Things, I had been caught in a rut, and I had just been doing the same old thing and losing a bunch of your relics and artifacts and inventions that you've been working on. It brought me a new outlook, and I started working on things I'd never thought of before. And you asked me for this, and he beckons all of you over, and he pulls out a large display for the honey gold and all of the basically like a mechanical exhibit for Feywild that has like some clockwork moving things of like, looks like a pixie and other things, and so places to put different bits of relics and artifacts that look like very gaudily like romanticized Feywild, how someone who does not know much about it would interpret it, and places for that. And isn't that amazing?
That's wonderful.
That's beautiful. Wow. And so
Very whimsical.
this will eventually go down as an exhibit.
Oh yes, I am going to I want to blend the old and the new. I want to use my machinery to highlight and enhance.
Lumi, go look at that pixie.
And I kick her out of my coat, and then I show her the mechanical pixie.
She looks at it and she's like,
Also, have you met Vito? Vito, this is Lumi. Lumi, this is Vito. This is a pixie. That's a mechanical pixie.
"Oh my, that's wonderful."
Yeah, if we have to communicate with you in the future, she may come and speak for me.
Hello, Lumi. My name is Vito Velosnik.
She actually reaches out and shakes his hand.
Holy moly, what is she doing?
Wow.
Wow, good for you, Lumi.
That's good.
Yeah,
I've
progress.
never met a pixie before.
I think she liked that he made a mechanical pixie of her. She's very vain. Okay, back in. And I let her back in my jacket.
So, you were successful, obviously. You saved the town. Wonderful.
Yeah.
We have some things to return to you as well. Anulin?
I don't know.
Annulin?
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't have anything.
Don't make me dimension door those birds off of a cliff.
Oh.
Alright.
So you pull the gun out of your pack, and it's huge, and it seems to be working. And you can almost see his eyes from beneath his dark goggles, but his sockets widen, and he gets the giddiest grin on his face. You returned the Bijou blunderbuss! I miss this so much! And he darts for and grabs it, and he's inspecting it, and he goes, and it's not even damaged. How did you get this?
Well, we killed King Krem and then we took it from his corpse.
Good. A thief should always be killed and then looted. That's what I always say.
Well, let's not go that far. This particular thief, yes. All thieves, let's take it case by case.
Well, I just feel glad that he was not able to use it to harm anyone. And he walks over and finds the spot where it had been previously resting. He goes up and hangs it, places it in the rack, and he says, "You stay there. I'm going to inspect you later." And he goes back to you. That is the nicest thing anyone's done. That is one of my favorite inventions.
You called it the Bijou blunderbuss?
Yes, yes.
What does that mean?
Well, a bijou is a little gem, and so it's powered with the gems, and I figure out a way to change the magical properties by tapping it. And it was going to be my defense, but Amalia wouldn't let me take it. When her guards took me away, and so it was stolen, but now it's back.
Right. Hopefully, did you lose too much terrible, something of a very large value?
When you have a collection as big as mine, you kind of lose track of some things, so a good amount, but nothing I can't replace.
Well, that's good news.
Honestly, the Bijou blunderbuss was the only thing I wasn't sure I would be able to replicate.
Oh, well, that's great.
We're happy to bring it back.
Yep.
Were you able to...
Yes, so happy.
Sorry,
Thank you.
Annie. We love you.
Now...
I almost forgot. Rodek,
I was just about to ask you.
I've been thinking about this. I have something for you.
Right.
He dives underneath one of his desks, and he kind of is rummaging around. You see him toss a few things, some tools, the occasional, you see him fling like a few gems, and he, chili, and he pulls out your horn.
Still intact.
Oh, I took good care of that. And
Thank
he
you.
hands it to you.
It's been quite a while.
I was able to discern the nature of that device.
Go on.
Don't look angry at him when he's giving you good news.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Well,
This is how my face
it's
looks.
a dwarf face, I'm sorry.
This was what
It's-
dwarves look like.
It is.
Okay.
I've known many dwarves. I like dwarves. It is a horn that I believe, I haven't tested it because I am unable to, and I'll get to that. When blown, is able to dominate the mind of frost giants.
You're kidding.
I am not. I double, triple checked.
Like, control them?
That seems to be the situation from the runes and the pattern and the magical properties I was able to deduce.
Wow.
Well,
That's a pretty big deal.
that certainly makes a lot of sense. And it can be anyone that blows it.
Well, that gets to my second point. There appears, at first I just thought it was an ice and domination magic weaved in, but took me a good 3 days to figure this out. There's blood magic weaved in, and I'm nearly certain it will require a particular bloodline in order to actually operate. And he looks at it and said, it's incredible. If I can use a good number of magical devices, but I was unable to actually use the horn that you hold.
So you say it has to be a specific bloodline?
It seems to be registering the blood of he or she who blows it.
How do we know? Is there any way to know which person could blow it?
That I have no idea. I assume there may be something hidden in the runic designs, but I know nothing of dwarven history of where you're from. It's quite well guarded.
Right. So, anyway, this needs a particular blood, as far as dwarves call it, a clan is my guess, a clan line.
That seems to be the situation.
And thank you for the follow,
Thank you.
Zilbob. Now, I'm going to guess that my clan isn't the bloodline. Is there a way to prove that so that I know?
Can you blow it?
I tried. It's not going to kill me, is it?
No, I tried and I'm alive.
I tried to blow it.
Doesn't seem to be doing anything. It kind of you're it's very large and it's very large and it does kind of let out this sound, but it's not blowing nearly as hard. You're thinking even from the acoustic that it should be blowing like a louder horn sound, and it just is kind of this weak, pathetic sound. And your lips, you kind of feel it almost get like stuck to it as you pull it off, and it's very frosty to the touch, but you're not dead.
Rodek, I expected a little bit more from you there, buddy.
Well, I'm honestly relieved that it didn't work.
Yeah, me too.
If I had this power this whole time and I didn't use it years ago, I don't know what I would do with myself.
Yeah. Do you want to hear the most obnoxious sound in the world?
Not really.
Okay.
Well, you have a very powerful artifact in your hands, and if you weren't the heroes of the town and you weren't so attached to it, I would offer to buy it, but I knew you would. It's very lovely, and
Unfortunately not, but this, I believe, based on your information, that helps me tremendously. It does. And how can I repay you?
You don't have to do anything. It is we that owe you.
Well, no. You owe me nothing. This has been. I greatly appreciate all of your expertise, and I honestly cannot thank you enough.
Well, and he kind of gets this grin, and he's tapping his fingers together, and he kind of hesitates and says, "Well, we're going to thank you anyway for a parade and ceremony in your honor in a week."
Oh, you don't have to do that.
Oh, it's too late. The plans are already in order.
Oh, well, that's really lovely.
A parade.
Thank you.
Thanks, I hate it.
Don't say that.
Vandals, I would think that you would love that.
I mean, I love it. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be, we're gonna be in a parade and everybody's gonna be cheering for us, right?
Yes, the whole city, and we're going to have the whole ceremony, and I'm going to leave everything to a surprise. But I think you're going to love it. It is going...
It's very generous of you.
Thank you.
And Amalia and Reeve and I are footing the whole bill. You don't have to worry about your room, and we have everything. So if you need anything, either of us.
How is the wee lad doing?
He is okay. I think near-death experience is good for the soul. You know.
Yeah.
I suppose.
I mean, tomorrow I'll check on him, and I think that he's been a little dejected with Alphonse and Lodnagon and no one to look after him, but I think it builds character for a man to be on one's own.
Yeah.
Well, is he around in case we wanted to stop by and talk to him?
No, I think he's doing his studies, I suppose.
Alright, well maybe we'll stop by just to check in, see how he's doing, because he went through a lot. He was in a real tough spot.
No, I heard. He told me all about it multiple times. Yes, it was quite a harrowing experience.
Well, again, thank you for the parade.
No, I mean,
Think of the follow.
don't mention it. Thank you for being the heroes that we needed. I'm just embarrassed I couldn't go myself.
Well, again, I offer this to Amalia. Let us know if there's anything we can do. We do want to help. We want to get this town up and running before we leave. And we do plan on leaving.
Oh, where are you going?
We have to... There's much more we have to do.
Anzu is a place on our list.
Oh,
We've got a
it's
couple of
nice
places.
place. I've been many times.
We have a
We
few...
haven't made any true decisions yet.
But we do have quite a few adventures left. Obviously, I have to figure out what I'm going to do with this new knowledge about my warlord. So
It is quite a hefty bit of knowledge. I've been
right,
waiting so long to tell you. Is it helpful?
it is. It is very helpful, and I have a wee suspicion about the bloodline that might be able to use this.
Well, I hope you use it for what you want to use it for.
You might have saved my people today.
Well, that's a high honor. I hope I did save your people today.
I think you did, or at least certainly helped.
Well, it was my pleasure. Stick around and enjoy the festivities. Please don't leave for a week.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
All right, we'll stay. We'll stay for a week. Is everyone all right with that? Are we staying a week
Of course.
for the parade?
I suppose so. There's things we can do for sure.
All right. Well, thank you much. Is
Well,
there
thank
anything-
you. Stop by anytime.
We will.
And he bids you goodbye, and you're able to be whisked out. The woman kind of greets you down in the main hallway of his mansion, leads you through the winding, elaborate hallways. You see that huge portrait of himself in his full glory. The mustache looks even bushier. He even has goggles on in the portrait. You are now, we'll just say it's about mid-afternoon. You are in the streets of Noble Garden. Having left Vito, you see a few kids excitedly running into the Egg of Eternity, excited kind of that they don't really have to worry about the massive monster that is lurking outside of their city. And you're in the streets, and what are you guys going to do?
I suppose we need to figure out where Reeve may be, but yeah.
Well, this is... We need to find a place... Avantris, you be honest with me. Do you think that Seamus can take care of Orpheus for a week in the tent?
Yeah. Seamus is one mean bastard. He doesn't seem like it, but he used to be. And he can handle himself.
No, alright. But my main concern is that someone else in the Kent shanking him while he's walking through the streets.
If it's any kind of common criminal, Seamus is gonna hand that poor bastard his own head. I trust he's a old salty dog. He's not gonna let anybody get one over on him.
Alright, well, I feel comfortable. That's my one concern. And, I think while we're here, we need to collect as much information as we can on Alphonse. So, I know that we're the heroes of town, and I don't want to snoop around his place, but we need to find some way to learn more.
We can. I think our best bet is to maybe speak with Seamus and see if he can hook us up with any of his contacts, and maybe the same for Fergus if they spring him out of the old joint.
Yeah, I mean, because I would say, if we get caught sneaking into his place, Fergus is going right back to jail, and so are we.
You're right. No,
That's not a good idea.
And I'm not suggesting it. I'm trying to think of ways. How do we learn more about what Alphonse is up to? If he truly saw Hissy, who you thought was dead.
Listen, about that whole thing, I don't necessarily want to get into it at the moment, but while I believe that Fergus believes he saw Hissy, I won't believe it until I see it with my own eyes.
Alright, well, I'm skeptical as well. I think, I have a lot to digest, certainly. A week feels like a long time to stay. Given that we have information, we know how to hopefully save Annulin's mother, but I forgot to ask if this horn can control fire giants. I don't think that that's true, but given that I can't use it anyway, it's kind of worthless. But I think there's still so many unknowns at this point.
Yeah.
We have a lot to discuss.
Right. Well, why don't we go eat some lunch, perhaps? Or dinner? What time is it?
Probably late afternoon at this point.
Let's go eat a meal. And,
Yeah, let's just go back, enjoy each other's company,
yeah,
and
and
deal
perhaps-
with. We have to be here for a week. We can deal with
let's
it
just
tomorrow.
relax. We'll enjoy the evening. We'll have a few drinks. Maybe just kind of hit up a couple establishments in Noble Garden, and then we can figure things out in the morning.
Agreed.
Good plan. I think I'm gonna go check on my baby birds first, but I'll meet you guys there.
Give Rambi a scratch for me.
Of course.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anything for Piccolo?
Yeah. Give the bird. I pull some jerky out of my pack and say, make sure that she knows Avantris gave her that one.
Father of the Year.
I'm still waiting. We're trying to warm her up to me here. She's, a little stubborn.
All right, I'll see you guys soon.
Okay. So the three of you head back to the inn. Annulin, you head your way to the stable, and you find as soon as you enter, the gentleman who runs the establishment kind of looks at you. He seems a little bit relieved, and he says, "It's good to see you. Are you going to take the bird now?"
No, why would I?
No, that's fine. That's fine. You're here's of the town. I mean, they're just two-headed vulture monster, giant one seen sacking the city. It kind of scares folks away.
You don't have to add the monster. It's just a vulture.
Well,
it just happens to have two heads, and it's a very tiny one. And I don't appreciate your tone, frankly, sir.
I'm sorry. It's that was a little Fergus, but I apologize.
I don't appreciate your Fergus tone.
Well, I don't know who that is. Oh my gosh, that was okay. I don't know who that is. There you go. I don't know who that is, but it's gonna be here now. It's gonna be a little bit in here. There we go.
I was like, Fergus is out.
Got it.
He runs the stables this whole time. We never knew.
So it's fine. Go say hi to your bird.
If it's really such a big deal, I'll throw in a little extra coin for you.
Would be appreciated.
I'll flip him I don't know. What are we paying for this?
I don't even remember.
It's a couple silver.
A couple silver. Yeah.
I'll flip him a silver. I'll double thumb flip him 2 silvers.
He looks at it. Gee, thanks. And he pauses. But enjoy.
Alright, so I'll go back and snuggle up to the birds and see how they're doing.
You snuggle up to them and make an animal handling check for me. This is the first check of the night.
Yeah, it's the first dice roll of the night.
This is more guided improv. What was that?
Close down my thing. Hold on.
I swear we actually are playing the game.
It's not a bit.
It's not a bit.
That was terrible. It's a 6.
It's a 6. You see Sunny and Scramble. They seem a little bit on edge by all of like the strange kind of creatures around them. But you show up and you are able to kind of calm them down a little bit. But they definitely seem to be a little bit scared.
I'm gonna give them some food out of my pack and just stroke their feathers and talk to them a little bit, and I'll snuggle up to Rambi and Piccolo a little bit too, just to so they don't feel left out.
Okay, just make one more animal handling check for me.
4.
4. Piccolo and Rambi, they see you, they recognize you, but they're kind of, you give them a little bit of scratch, and they take the food that you give them and the pets that you give them, but they kind of seem to be a little bit stiff towards you.
It's fair. We've been gone a while. I'm sorry, guys. So I'll give them all a final pat and head out
Okay.
of the stable.
Sunny and Scramble, kind of once you spend some time with them and get you feed them yourself, you can kind of tell that may have been something that they hadn't really appreciated, and then it was having some strange man feeding them, and not you, not their mother that they saw, only a week or so ago. Was they seem relieved and calm and are chirping happily as you make your way back to the inn, and you see the 3, Sylvie, Rodek, and Avantris, enjoying a beverage of their choice and a meal of their choice, perchance.
Yep.
Hi.
We've got a goblet of hard liquor.
There you go.
I'll have some big, like, tankard of ale.
The
I'm gonna be
tankard
real
of
cliche.
ale that he has, I want to have that same size, but full of hard liquor.
Okay. Are you gonna like nurse it, or are you gonna like pound it?
No, she's pounding it.
Good night, Neo. See you Saturday.
Night, Neo.
See you
Oh,
Saturday.
for cute. I can't wait.
Oh, for cute. Do a con saving throw for me.
Ooh, I'm pretty sure it's a 10.
You are completely hammered immediately, and it's Sylvie is
No, it's a 12.
already sloshed by the time Annulin gets there, and Annulin sits down at the table.
Oh, Annulin, you're so pretty. I just love your hair and the way you have teeth. Rodek, I have a question for you.
Alright.
I forgot what it was.
Anyway.
And I'm like dribbling it all over myself.
I'm eating one of those big, like, anime meat things, you
Yeah,
know, with,
sure.
like, the bone that has,
They
like,
sell
the,
that.
like-
It's on the menu as anime meat. It's called
Red meat right off the bone.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
gonna be like this in a month, almost. You alright? You need to go to
Yeah.
bed?
You know what? Fuck it. You get a bardic inspiration.
And I just throw him a bardic inspiration.
Okay, you have a bardic inspiration. Roll for
That's the
initiative.
song that I give to you. I don't know what you can do with it right now, but that was a I think they call it a vomit. It's when you burp and almost vomit at the same time. Oh boy.
Alright, well.
I still have more in here, right? Yep.
This is gonna be a fun night.
This feels good. My husband died, and now kids aren't gonna get presents on Christmas Day.
What's Christmas Day?
It's the day Santa Claus brings all the presents to the kids, but Santa Claus is dead now. I have his daughter / ex-wife in this rod.
Well, this has been enlightening.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
He's going to end ex-wife. That's...
I can't remember what.
Matthias was... He was a charming fellow.
And Sylvie falls over completely asleep.
For Matthias.
For Matthias.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You all raise a glass to Matthias and down at Sylvie, you're very much on the cusp of sleep as you drink to your alleged ex-husband, your dead husband, and it feels good to be able to really kick your feet up and enjoy a drink for the first time really since you've started adventuring together. And it feels bizarre and surreal, and it's kind of hard to believe that you think that like Orpheus, who is this big, crazy, bad sorcerer guy you've been after for months, is now locked up in some house like not too far away with only an old man with a knife guarding him. And while you guys are, have potential things you want to do, but are feeling like you can finally take time to just enjoy each other's company and enjoy and celebrate your success. And I think that's what we'll end the session.
Awesome. Great job, Mike.
Woo! Good
Thank
stuff.
you guys.
You still got it, kid.
Yep, you still got it.
Yeah, I was like, how do you DM again? Oh God, I'm literally
Wacky voices.
Everyone is Fergus.
Everyone is fun. Well, yeah, no, I mean, he's got
I
to.
escaped the prison and I killed the stable man.
Oh, he treats the horses not good.
My stable now.
Well,
I love
thank you guys
twos.
so much. It was a blast. It felt so good to DM again.
It feels good to be back in the saddle.
It really
Yeah,
on
it
this
felt really
playing
good
room
to be. Can you keep it on that again for just a little
sorry.
bit? It felt really good to be Sylvie again. It's definitely been too long.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. All of the new followers, we really appreciate you. Thanks for sticking around. We really hope you liked it. We'll be back on Saturday for a 6-player campaign, very first session. So you'll be able to watch the story from the very beginning and really experience the entire thing. And it's the characters are outstanding. We've done all the session zeros. I'm so excited. I think this is going to be a good one, ladies and gentlemen.
Me too.
And
Trying to
so
get in a serious mindset.
it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So please join us on Saturday if you have the time. Otherwise, we'll be back on Monday with Call of the Feywild, usual time, and then Wednesday, Legends of Avantris, usual time, Avantris Prime. And congrats again to Rabbit. If you're still here,
congratulations,
Rabbit, we
Rabbit.
love you. Congrats, you really deserve. You deserve it.
Join us in Discord.
Join us in Discord. Yes, we have the Discord. Come hang out. We like to shit post on there. We talk about Critical Role. We talk about World of Warcraft a lot. Those are kind of our main D&D, World of Warcraft, Critical Role are kind of our big things. But we like to talk about a bunch of fun stuff, nerd stuff. So I think we're going to do a raid.
Yeah.
Do you want to raid snacks? Nah, fine.
No.
Yeah, so we're gonna raid Perception Check D&D.
Yes.
They have really talented people, talented puppeteers. If you're into puppets.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well,
That's pretty wild.
we'll be at Otakon. That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
other thing. We'll be at
Otakon.
Otakon. If anybody's a weeb and likes anime and happens to be in the Mid-Atlantic that's going to Otakon, we'll be there.
Yep.
So
Come say hi.
Come say hi. We'll be hanging out.
Yeah. So yeah, let's
In
head
the
over.
flesh.
Show them the Avantris love. If
Yeah.
you're a sub, show them your Hooters.
Flash your Hooters.
And thank you guys so much for hanging out with us, and we hope that we see you Saturday, and we'll see you again in
Yeah.
Avantris.